What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another interview on the Winning Mentality channel. And today we're joined by former Swindon, Northampton, amongst many others, Mr. Marc Richards. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. Very well.
So we had a chat via Instagram. Just pinged Marc a message. He came back. Brilliant stuff. Sometimes, you just got to. If you don't shoot your shot, you never score. And Marc will know that.
Make that ball ticket, you don't win, do you?
Exactly, and Marc will know that throughout all the goals he's scored in his career. So, basically, Marc, we'll start it off. So, you're a Wolverhampton-born and bred lad, but then you made a start in your professional career in Blackburn Rovers. So, talk to me about that. Really, how did that move come about?
So, just playing really for my local Sunday League teams. Ended up joining Swindon Town as a youth, which was my local non-league team. Playing in their reserves at around 16, and then got spotted by a scout who was based in the Midlands, but he was obviously scouting for Blackburn at the time, and was asked to go and have a trial, and ended up going up there for a couple of weeks and ended up ultimately signing for them.
Absolutely. And you obviously in and around a Premier League club, which is a massive thing. And they were managed by Graham Souness at the time, I think, a massive Liverpool legend. What was it like playing under a guy who's won so much as he has done?
To be honest, we never really interacted with him too much. Obviously, when I first went there, I was a youngster, so it was more academy level football that I was playing within the first maybe year to two. And then in my last couple of years there, it was more reserves, stroke being on the fringes of the first team. So, even at that point there, being involved with the reserves, you were never involved with the first team on a regular basis. It was all separate. So you'd have a first team, big first team squad, reserve team squad, and then youth academy. So didn't really interact with them too much, but obviously, the guy is a bit of a legend, I suppose. So
obviously you went on, whilst you was at Blackburn, you went on 4 loan spells, I believe, to Crewe, Oldham, Halifax and Swansea. But I'd like to pinpoint Swansea. What was it like, obviously, moving to Wales? And I believe, were they in the Championship back then? What was it moving to, like, the Championship and obviously playing for Swansea?
No. So obviously, firstly, going to Wales, South Wales, was brilliant. I was only 19 years old. Swansea itself is a great place, and I stayed on the marina, which is lovely. So that side of it was great. Getting away from home and experiencing new things was great, and obviously learning my trade, playing football. But it weren't the champ; it was League Two. It was at the time.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You learned something.
Information's all over the place, but yeah. They were at the bottom of the League Two, and like really struggling, looking like they would get relegated from the Football League, which would have been catastrophic for a club like Swansea.
And obviously, from Swansea, you signed for Northampton, and obviously moving to the Cobblers, they were in League Two as well. Obviously, you were beaten by my beloved Mansfield on penalties in the playoff semi-final. What was it like playing in the playoff semi-final?
Absolutely robbed. But we obviously lost the first leg 2-0, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then went to your place, and obviously we needed 3-0 to go through. We managed to get to 3-0, but then we were robbed because you should have had a man sent off, and then
I was too young. I'm sorry, but my history goes back to the 2010s. So
it's all good. It's all good. So moving forward, obviously you identified a lot with Northampton. You actually returned to the club later on in your career. Was it something that you intended to do when you did leave the club, and when the opportunity arose, were you happy about returning?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I had 2 good spells at Northampton. I have really good relationships with the people that work at the club as well, and still do. And I'm still involved with the club in the academy level.
Absolutely.
Coaching with the academy boys. So, it's for me. It's a great club that's a family-based club, and a club that really looks after their own, really.
Yeah, so from Northampton, you moved on to Barnsley. That's again a completely different area in England. We've had a chat to Jamie Tendall's White, who was up and down and everywhere. But it's the same with you. So Barnsley moving up to Yorkshire, how was that for you?
Yeah, great. So I left Northampton after a spell or a season really of being injured quite a lot. I picked up a couple of niggly little injuries and didn't really go over them too well. So I had the summer to reflect and to see what else was out there after leaving Northampton. Ended up going to work for Andy Ritchie, obviously, who was the manager at Barnsley at the time. So he took me on loan to Oldham in my time at Blackburn. So yeah, that was great. And then North Yorkshire, lovely place, great people, good football club as well.
Yeah, and so Andy Ritchie, as a player who he achieved as much as he did in that sort of level, was it good to sort of feed off his experiences at both Oldham and Barnsley?
Yeah, without a doubt. Andy Ritchie for me was great because he's a striker himself. So any bits of information or stuff that he would say or tell us to do, then it was coming from a reliable source.
And obviously, after your spell at Barnsley, you moved to Port Vale, and what a spell that was! Obviously, scoring 100+ goals in the time at Port Vale. What was it like at Port Vale? You obviously was club captain on a few occasions. Obviously, you became club captain, then you got stripped of a captaincy, and then you got it back again. So, what was it like at Port Vale?
So Port Vale is a great club. It's a club that's I'm affiliated to because I'm from that sort of area, the Midlands. Not too close to there, but 45, 50-minute drive from there. So I've got family and friends that are Port Vale fans. So to go there was great because if you've got family and friends that are supporters of a club that you're playing for, then they show a fond interest. But yeah, Port Vale as a whole, it was a good time for me. Like I say, scored a lot of goals. But should have scored a few more. But I had five good seasons there, 5 seasons that I was really proud of.
Yeah, and straight after, on the back of the Port Vale, you joined at Chesterfield, fiercest rivals for Mansfield Town Football Club, in my humble opinion. You did win promotion with Chesterfield, which is fair enough. But what was, I've got a question related to Mansfield. What was the rivalry between Mansfield? You played in 2 games against Mansfield Town. What was it like? Was it a fierce rivalry playing against each other when you played at Chesterfield?
Yeah, Christ, it's always great to play in local derbies, and especially one that's got a bit of grit, like the Chesterfield Mansfield one has. It's not often that you can play in derbies because sometimes clubs don't meet because of whatever the league they're in. But there is the added spice of playing in a derby. You get the extra buzz in the stands. The extra 500,000 people turn up just because it's a derby. Yeah. Some places can sell out as well. So just the whole atmosphere around the derby day, don't really get too much better than that.
Which derby in particular in your career would you say has been the most fierce and the most enjoyable to play in?
I don't think I've played in too many, to be honest. It's not really classed as a derby, but Port Vale and Crewe and Port Vale and Shrewsbury. There's very much a bit of grit between them two sets of fans. So, yeah, I'd have to say either one.
So under Chesterfield, you played under a cracking manager in Paul Cook, who's gone on to higher heights with Wigan Athletic and Portsmouth and stuff like that. Did you know, in his time with Chesterfield, did you think he would ever make it to that sort of level? And if so, why?
Yes, I did, because his style of football, how he likes to play, He is the type of guy that installs confidence into players, as well as being a bit of a hothead at times. And he can certainly give you a telling off if you need one, but yeah, he wants people to get on the ball. He wants players to play and to be able to move the ball around as a team, as a unit. So just, purely on the way he wanted to play and the success that he had in such a short space of time at Chesterfield as well. We took them from League One to, I think, the playoffs. No, we took them from the league to the playoffs in League One. So to do that at a club, Chesterfield's not a big club really, is it, compared to many that are out there. So to be able to do that with such a club like the size of Chesterfield, then all credit to him.
Obviously, we spoke about your return to Northampton, which happened in May 2014, and you were managed by Chris Wilder. Obviously, he's gone on to have a great, successful spell at Sheffield United. What was it like working under Chris Wilder?
Yeah, it was great. Chris was brilliant for me, and possibly the best manager stroke guy I've played under. Certainly as a person. Firstly, he was great. Very approachable. Wasn't never just about football. You could sit and have a chat with him, cup of tea, and have a chat. But then, secondly, as a manager, he kind of comes as a pairing, him and Alan Nil. So Chris is like Mr. Good cop, bad cop. So Chris is obviously bad cop. Alan's good cop. But then I think that works brilliantly for them, because you've got Alan, who's the go-to, kind of puts his arm around you if you need a hug, and then Chris is the guy that kind of keeps everyone on the toes. So yeah, them two as a pair were brilliant.
Obviously, as well, you won the title with Northampton in 2015-16, which adds to many of your promotions as a player. Did that promotion really how could I really word this? Was it impressive, or because Northampton have been a very good club and have been pushing on to get up into League One for many seasons, and obviously you got them promoted. Where would that rank on the promotion list for yourself?
Yeah, I've had a few promotions. That's probably the best one, to be honest. To literally run away with the league like we did. I think we finished maybe 14 points ahead of second. Ended up with 99 points at the end of the season. So very close to getting three figures in points terms. And that would have been nice as well, to have got 100 points in the season. Something that we can look back on and be proud of. And what we achieved that season was unbelievable because of the circumstances that surrounded the club at the time. There was a chairman that kind of down tools really midway through the season, and it left us in a little bit of limbo for a period of time where we didn't really know when we were going to get paid, if we were going to get paid, and just really what was going to happen with the club. So for us to come through that and still go on and win the league in convincing style that we did was a credit to the players and the staff. Absolutely.
And then you moved on after that to Swindon Town, which is where I because it's sort of semi-local, it's like an hour away from me. And that's where I first sort of noticed you. And my pal's a Swindon fan, and he was just like, Marc Richards is signed, and he scored 11 goals and God knows how, like no time at all. So how was Swindon Town for you? And was it the right destination for you at that stage of your career?
Yeah, so first part of your question, obviously, was it the right move? Yeah, I think it was, yeah. I think Swindon at the time, under Dave Flitcroft, were chasing promotion, which was something that I was keen to achieve again. I had the opportunity to go to Coventry City as well, which is on the doorstep, but on a shorter term contract. And really it was It was never about like money. It was about making my career as long as possible, and Swindon offered me 18 months, which was, for a 34-year-old, was a great opportunity to carry on playing football for as long as possible. So going to Swindon was great. Although the manager left after about 6 to 8 weeks, which was really disappointing, because he said to me that he had a long-term plan for himself at the club. So, but I understand the reasons for him leaving. So, but yeah, no, I had a great first season at Swindon. I got 11 or 12 goals in the second half of the season. So, yeah, I was pleased with how it ended.
And then, obviously, released at the end of last season. Yeah, spell at Cambridge, and then joined Yeovil this January. Again, two very different areas of this country. Is it something that you sort of take into account? Do you want to see different parts of England in that kind of respect?
No, not at all. If I could play football in my next door garden, or if not in my next door's garden, then I would. Yeah, it's never about the location. It's about the right club at the right time, and to be fair, the travel, as much as it can be a bit of a pain in the arse. Yeah, the travel isn't something that really affects me too much, so I don't mind staying like I do with the Yeovil. I stay down once or twice a week.
Yeah.
The club put us up in the houses, and we get to have the crack as lads for a night or two away from home.
We're in the present currently with Yeovil, but a question that's probably been on my mind throughout this interview would be, which spell any of the clubs did you enjoy the most? Obviously, you could have returned to Port Vale. Actually, we'll speak about Port Vale, your close return to Port Vale. What happened there? Obviously, broken down negotiations, in which didn't see you returning to Port Vale. Ultimately, what happened in that transfer saga?
Yeah, so I was close to going back. I was actually on the motorway driving up to Port Vale after speaking with the chairman throughout a day. I think ultimately it just been left too late. I think the window shuts at, was it 11 o'clock in the evening or 10 o'clock, and you have to get so much signed off and sent to the FA by a certain time. So I just think the chairman maybe panicked a little bit and pulled out, because he'd been on the phone to me all day. We were negotiating, and obviously at the last, the last couple of minutes, few hours of it, he obviously backed out. But yeah, it would have been nice to have gone back to Port Vale. Good club.
And obviously, one of the last questions for myself is, which spell at any of the clubs did you enjoy the most?
I'd have to say the season at Northampton, where we won the league, would have been my happiest time in football. Obviously, winning games is great, and it puts you in a better mood for the week coming up. It's not nice when you lose at a weekend and you've got a week to play your next game. So winning games breeds confidence, and confidence breeds a good changing room where everyone feels happy, upbeat, and everyone's getting on. Whereas if it's the opposite way around, you're losing games, and it's not a great position to be in.
So, unfortunately, you're 37, pushing 38 now, Mark. What does the future hold for you, mate? How long do you think you can keep going?
There's not many that get past 35, to be honest, is there? So I think I've done quite well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do want to play as long as possible, and as long as I'm fit enough and healthy enough, then I will. Where that will take me, I don't know. I'm obviously still contracted to Yeovil at the moment. We're still in lockdown, so we're hoping that we can come out of this lockdown soon, so that we can get back to playing the playoff games that we potentially could be involved in, and hopefully that leads to another promotion. But like I say, I want to play as long as possible, and where that might be, and I'm not too sure.
And how have you personally been coping with this situation? It's not been ideal for anyone, but have you found any particular challenges that have really impacted you personally?
Yeah, getting out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's nothing to go for, it's tough. Keeping that structure of just having a normal day-to-day routine, I found quite challenging because I'm used to getting up in the morning with an alarm and getting for breakfast and going to work, coming home, getting the kids from school. At the moment, none of that's happening, and not just for myself, but for everyone. You know, it's a challenge for everyone. And I suppose it's getting your mentality into a good frame of mind.
Absolutely, mate. And we wish you all the very best of luck with that. Thank you very much for joining us, Mark. It's been an absolute pleasure having a chat to you and learning all the experience that you provide. Yeah, drop a like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.